the thing is about Adar is he does enjoy being strong and breaking things, but he believes that following orders blindly is just like a tyrannical, a different sort of tyranny to follow.
Sure, the sheep.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing is when his family was like basically wiped out in a big battle, so he joined up with this mercenary group who literally became an army within several months. And when he was in one of his first combats with this mercenary group, he was kind of almost dead in combat, and somebody saved his life. So because of that, he will never leave a teammate behind.
Right.
But one of his biggest flaws is the hatred of his enemies almost makes him like blinded and unreasoning. He cannot.
You mean
do
like
anything.
like dwarf battle rager style?
Right. But
Gutbuster Brigade.
Right. Gutbusters.
Yeah.
The only thing is even among dwarven clans, the Fire Fist family was known as. They were really crass and really rude and brutish.
They were the magnificent whites of West Virginia.
You know, one of the things that Adar does is he takes things off of his enemies like beads,
mementos,
or teeth, and drills holes in them, and or even like fingers, dries them out, and then braids them into his beard.
Mix them.
Yeah. But they're his mementos. They're like, I killed this one.
Well, it's status.
I'm calling you sort of finger beards from here on out.
Finger beard.
It's status, though.
It is status.
You're fearsome, you know. Like
but he still holds his rank, even though he left the mercenary group. He still holds his rank as sergeant. So if he happens upon the group's keep,
sergeant for life, baby.
That's right.
Sergeant for life. You know why? Because of all the shit in your beard. That's right. When people see you, even though you're not on duty or not with them anymore, they still acknowledge you, Sarge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they do.
But he's not timid. In fact, he's the first one into combat. Mm-hmm. He wants to make a lot of noise. He wants to be the guy saying, come at me.
Sure. Fantastic. Is that good to go?
Yeah, I'm good, man. That pretty much describes it.
That fucking gave me kind of a chubby.
I can't follow that.
I got like a quarter right now.
Woo! I'm glad I went first.
Well, Maggie, I know you're playing Brigid, and I think Brigid is a great character.
I have Brigid Rose. She is a half-elf fighter. Mm-hmm. She was raised by her father, traveling carpenter, and very modest, meager life on the road. So it was basically just them, and he kind of raised her as a son. And not too far into her adolescence, her father was basically murdered by a noble in a tavern, or I should say outside of a tavern, due to it was just a complete misunderstanding. It wasn't even
meaning a noble in the traditional sense.
Meaning a noble in traditional sense that he was just not worth. It didn't matter that he was killing him, but it was over a complete misunderstanding. Something that, and she's still kind of fuzzy over why it even happened, but. At the same time, she took a pretty serious beating from that same noble and did end up walking away with her life, but that was it. Her life and Daddy's tools.
Yeah.
And a little bit of know-how on how to use them. So she's pretty pissed at nobles. Not all nobles, but definitely the tyrants.
She doesn't trust the dickish nobility.
No, she doesn't trust much of anyone, but certainly not nobles. You have to earn it from her.
But the two in your party have.
Right. No, they're all right because they're not.
Right.
We're not hoity-toity.
They're exiled nobles or black sheep. Yeah.
Yes, but she's all about being fair. Everyone gets a fair cut. Everyone does their fair share of the work. And, let's try to reason and do things to make sure that everyone is happy with the outcome. She does have a little bit of an issue, though. Brigid likes to drink. And she doesn't quite know when to stop.
Yeah.
So...
It's not a problem,
she goes...
Not an earlier.
It's okay. The dwarf has holy water.
Often hungover, goes on benders.
But I want to point out that being the folk hero that Brigid is, she's championed the common folk.
I was just kidding there.
Yeah.
So like, and that was kind of an accident even. On one of her benders, she got pissed hearing the talk about what this noble was doing, and kind of started up a little bit of a rebellion and broke into
started up a small rebellion.
a little bit.
Accidentally.
Her and a bunch of town folk got fucked up. I'm like, you know what we're gonna do?
No.
We're charge that motherfucker.
She broke into the castle and stole a bunch of the weapons and went out and armed the people.
Yeah.
And it didn't last that long, but
she did do that.
She did do that.
So she did actually organize a rebellion, yeah, and survived. So within the common folk, I mean, she's known throughout the area. And I do believe that even in the Lost Mines of Phandelver, there were things that were done with Brigid to great lengths to prove how committed she is to not only her teammates but to like
the people,
the populace. Really, like
she puts up with zero tolerance policy for anyone that is
for fuckery.
That is bullying or belittling anyone else.
Right. She beats up the bullies. Well, all right. I am fully erect now, not a quarter.
Ta-da!
In fact,
I don't know
no
who this guy
bardic
is.
inspiration for you.
no.
So we want to get a pic of this real quick. I'll post this up on Twitter.
Alright, we'd like to thank everybody for listening to this bonus episode of the 4 Players 1 Dungeon podcast. Kind of works as an intro, character introduction to the new Princes of the Apacolypse campaign we're going to be starting here very soon. Follow us over on Twitter at FPodPodcast. Download all these episodes on iTunes, and while you're there, leave us a review. You can email us at fpodplays@gmail.com and like us on Facebook at 4 Players 1 Dungeon. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week.
This has been an FPod podcast production. If you didn't enjoy this episode, it's probably your own fucking fault.